Welcome, everybody, to a Monday night edition of the Glen Kuiper Show, All Giants. It's a pregame edition as we get set for the Giants and the San Diego Padres. We're going to run down what happened over the weekend. We're going to talk about the Padres and the Giants. We're going to talk about the Giants update on where they're at and look ahead a little bit maybe to what may happen next year. And we also have a very special guest who we will get to in just a moment. But we got to do some business as always. The Glen Kuiper Show, All Giants, is brought to you by the Carrick Real Estate Team. Since 1978, the Carrick Real Estate Team has been helping families buy and sell homes across the Bay Area with a legacy of client-first service. Whether you're moving up, downsizing, or making your first purchase, trust the Carrick Real Estate Team to guide you home. Contact Mike Carrick today for a free home sale or purchase consultation. Call them at 925-548-4132 and go to their website, carrickteam.com. We're also brought to you by Tilden Properties. As an investor, one of the best places to put your money is California's multi-family real estate. By investing with Tilden Properties, you'll see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market. Bay Area-based and family-owned, Tilden Properties has been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. Go to their website at tildenproperties.com or give them a call at 925-209-8558. All right, so let's get going and let's introduce our special guest. He's one of my favorite people in all of sports, in all of baseball. We've been in this business together for a long time, and he's my guy. Marty Lurie joins us. Marty, how are you?
Good, very good. Glad to be with you, and I'm out at the ballpark. How about that?
Yes, you are. You are at the ballpark. I usually go out to the ballpark tonight. I'm doing the show from home, Marty. My son is heading back to college tomorrow. He's going back to the University of Oklahoma. So I thought it was probably a good idea to stay home tonight, do a show, and I knew you were going to be at the ballpark. And in all honesty, you know how I feel about talking baseball with you. We've been doing this a long time, and I'm glad you're in the Bay Area for the whole week. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is a big game tonight. Every game is important. You know, there's 44 games to go. And, you know, look, we've followed baseball a long time. And I said to Bob Melvin tonight, I don't know what you want to call whatever you're in. Is it a pennant race, a playoff? What are you trying to do with this third playoff position? Because you're right in the middle of it. It's mishmash. It's a mess. Everybody's losing. Everyone's stepping on each other. But the truth of the matter is they're 4 games out of a spot to play in October. And they play a team tonight that's been hot, and it's a very good team. And they've got their guy going tonight, and that is Logan Webb. And, you know, why not? This is what baseball's all about. We love August baseball. This is when the stories are made.
Yeah. And you know what, Marty? I mean, here's what I've been thinking. There's 44 games left, as you said, and we know where they are in the standings. It's not insurmountable here. It's 4 games. They don't have the tiebreaker, so it's really 5 games. But here's my point, and I want to see how you feel about this. To me, it's not the calendar. There's enough time to make a move. Okay, so I'm not thinking like, oh boy, time's running out. There's 44 games left to get hot. So to me, the calendar is not the issue. The issue for me, Marty, is are they capable of getting hot? There's enough time. There's enough games. They're not that far back in the standings. So we could talk about that, but you see what I'm saying? That's not an issue for me. I don't know that they're capable of doing what they need to do to erase a 4-game deficit in a wild card, for this third spot. What do you think about that?
Well, they have some players to do it. I mean, let's face it, Devers is getting hot. He's starting to connect more. He's more of a threat at the plate. Ramos gets on base 23 games in a row. It's the best in baseball right now. He hasn't hit a homer since July 5th, which is a little alarming, when you're trying to score runs. But you're dealing with Adames, you're dealing with Chapman and Dom Smith and Casey Schmidt and people like that. And my gripe all year is you're dealing with a lot of 230, 240 hitters. And guys like that, when the money is on the line, they're easier to pitch to than a guy who's hitting 290. So if they can put the bat on the ball and not strike out as much and get some decent pitching, they have the names that are capable of doing things. It's a question of going out and doing it. So you get Darvish tonight, and I realize it's a microcosm of one game, but Darvish, and you talk to people on the Padres side before the game, he has not been very good so far. They have the bullpen lined up, but the Padres are worried about burning out the bullpen before the end of the season. Yeah. So it becomes a unique game. So in a long way to answer your question, they have some hitters who are capable of carrying the team. Adames, Devers, Chapman, when they get hot, can do it. They just haven't gotten hot together, although Devers is starting to play a little better now. So we'll see. You got to play the games. But the names are there.
So, Marty, before we go into this Padres series and some of these the Giants players you're talking about, and some are hot, some are not, I want to get your comments about the weekend. I said this is the most important homestand of the year. It is. It did not start out well. I was at the ballpark yesterday, and listen, we love being at the ballpark. The fans have been phenomenal this year. But, and I hate to say this, Marty, but we all know they lost 2 out of 3. But I think yesterday was as disappointing of a loss as we've seen all year. And I say that for, obviously, you want to win the series. The Nats are not a good team. They got some nice young players, but they're not a good team. They got the second worst record in the National League. But yesterday was really disheartening for me. The place was packed, sellout. It was a perfect day. It was glorious weather, and the fans were dying. I mean, they were dying to get this thing going, win a series, get ready for the Padres. And it ends up they lose 8-0. They get out hit 17-3. They strike out 15 times. And, and Bob Melvin said it. He said, this is really disappointing. When you give a sellout crowd nothing to cheer for. And I don't want to dwell on it a lot, but I did want to run it past you, Marty. I've been to, a ton of the games at the ballpark this year, and that was the one that probably disappointed me the most.
Yeah, not me. No. Mackenzie Gore was outstanding.
He was good. Yes, I'll give him that. He was good.
He is an all-star. Mackenzie Gore is an all-star, and he pitched like an all-star yesterday. He didn't just throw strikes. He did what Art Howe used to say. He didn't just throw strike. He commanded the strike zone and threw everything right on the button, right on that line. He was fabulous. He shoved it on him. He did. And it was Mackenzie Gore's day yesterday was the big issue. For me, Verlander is a 5th starter. He's a guy who's going to give you 5, get the bullpen ready, and you hope that your ace is coming up the next day and you won't need a lot of bullpen. And he's 42 years old. And everyone expects perfection out of Verlander. It's just not there. He doesn't have command of the off-speed stuff, or he doesn't have command of the fastball. It's just very inconsistent. But for me, it was Mackenzie Gore. I don't care if they got 27 hits and the Giants got 6 hits. It didn't matter. Mackenzie Gore overwhelmed them yesterday like he's capable of doing. Mm-hmm. The one that bothered me was Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday bothered me with Brad Lord. And here's a guy who has not made many starts, and he shut the Giants down for 6 innings, and their bullpen took care of it until the 9th inning. And if Bailey doesn't hit into a double play, you got Ramos and Devers coming up, and Devers was 2 for 2 with 2 walks and having the best day as a Giant. So that was the one that sort of disappointed me that I thought they let get away. But yesterday, Glenn, is baseball like you've seen it, like you grew up with it, like we've seen it a billion times. The pitcher dominates. You're only as good as your starting pitcher that night. And tonight, Webb has got to do what Gore did yesterday. That's what the Giants need tonight. So I wasn't blown out by yesterday. It was more Mackenzie Gore than anything, really.
Yeah. All right. So you talked about some of the Giants players, and I want to kind of go through them with you and get your thoughts on this. There's a lot of talk about Adames and Chapman. they're both very good players. They have very good track records. And I think, unfortunately, right now they're both struggling. Adames had a nice, month of July. He has slowed down a little bit in August. Matt Chapman has struggled in August. But again, we're halfway through. There's plenty of time. And I looked a few things up, Marty, and I think, the strikeout thing is, I hate strikeouts. You know that, and I know you do too. And I think the fans, they feel like these two guys strike out a lot, but I looked it up and they're really striking out. I'm talking about Adames and Chapman, this pretty much the same rate that they have their whole career. So they're not doing anything more. They're not striking out more. They're actually, if you want to use strikeout percentage, which a lot of people use now, they're a tick below their career averages in strikeout percentage. So it is what it is with these two guys. They're not striking out more. They're not striking out less. They're striking out the amount of times that they pretty much have in their whole career. It is what it is with these two guys. There's a lot of pluses to both of them. At times, you desperately want them to put the ball in play, and they don't. And we've seen that from really the whole lineup this year. But those two guys, I think the only thing that maybe where they have not been career average this year is hitting with runners in scoring position, Marty. Chapman's way down from his career in that area. I mean, he's hitting just 183 with runners in scoring position. His career average is 239. I mean, that's a significant drop. Adames has been better, but he's down about 20 points from his career average. So to me, that it's not the strikeouts. Neither of those guys are going to hit 280. They're not. That's not the kind of hitters they are. I think maybe the area where they have struggled this year more than other times in their career is hitting with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, it's
the numbers back it up.
Yeah, it's when they strike out. They're killing them. One guy's a number 3 hitter. The other guy's a number 4 or 5 hitter. And when they got to get a hit with someone on, one guy's hitting 239, and the other guy is 229 for Adames, and the other guy's hitting 230.
Yeah.
It's when they strike out. It's when they don't get a hit. And that's what's killing this lineup, is they get people on base from time to time, and they get some action. Mm-hmm. But then at the moment when you got to get the big hit to break it open, it doesn't happen. They've played like 75 1 or 2 run games. Every game is the same game every night. 1-1 into the 7th inning, 3-2 into the 7th inning, 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. You're waiting for that moment. Yeah. So Adames and Chapman strike out. Yes, they do. Not a crazy amount, but it's when they strike out. And that's the biggest problem for me. And that's what's killing them. And that's why I say you give me a 280 hitter, you give me Dom Smith, who's hitting 4. They made him a cleanup hitter because he's hitting 280. Yeah. You give me him in a big situation, he's going to put the bat on the ball, chances are. But you give me Adames, and if Adames doesn't get – if he gets a breaking ball, he's in trouble. Chapman, if he gets a high fastball, is in trouble. And if pitchers make mistakes, they can hurt him. But if they don't make mistakes, they're very vulnerable.
I want to ask you about Elliot Ramos. He's settled in, it looks like, in that leadoff spot. He may not be your prototypical leadoff hitter. He's done a nice job, though, in that spot. There may not be a lot of options for Bob Melvin as far as a leadoff hitter, but give Ramos his credit. He's done a really nice job getting on base. I know he's got a long on base streak going. He's had a good month of August. He's been hot. So the RBIs have slowed down, obviously, because he is hitting in a different spot. But overall, just his game. And I've thought a lot about Elliot Ramos and his game because there's a lot of talent there. You can see it. But his entire numbers, when you look at last year, the power numbers are down a little bit from last year. The run production is down a little bit. And again, some of that has to do with where he is batting first quite a bit. But yet, he does a pretty good job in the leadoff spot. What are your thoughts on Elliot Ramos? Has he progressed this year or has he regressed? Because I think defensively, maybe he's gone in the wrong direction a little bit. But also, if you remember last year, Marty, he really slowed down in the second half. I think he got tired, and his numbers really went down. Where this year he looks strong. It looks like he's learning how to be a big leaguer every day and be able to handle the grind of a 6-month season, which is very difficult to do. So it's been interesting watching him because you see some progress in some areas and maybe some spots where he has gone downhill a little bit. And I'm thinking about defensively. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I like him a lot. They don't really have a typical leadoff guy to get on and steal a bag and have a hit and run guy behind him and all that stuff. It's not the way they play the game. He shows up. The best ability is availability. The guy shows up and he's the leadoff guy against righties, lefties. He gets hits. He gets on base. He's the least of the problems for me. He's a little rough in the outfield. We know it. And that's where he's regressed a little bit, is in the outfield. It's a little disturbing. On anything hit out to left field, that's a tough chance. He could be in trouble. Easy chances he can make the play. But I like him. I like the bat. I like the fact that he's aggressive. He starts a game off and rips a base hit to right or rips one up the middle. I love him. I think he's fine. And he's 273, 14 homers. He hasn't hit one in over a month.
It's been a while, yeah.
But he probably needs a rest. Young. Ken Mako always told us, young legs in August are the ones you need. And he's got young legs, but he probably could use a break here and there. Maybe put McRae out there and give him a couple of days off just to regroup. But I like Ramos. Right. I think the future is bright for him. He swings the bat. He works hard, and I like the kid. I do.
Yeah. I think some of the issues he's had defensively, I think they're fixable. When he flips the ball back into the infield and he overthrows the cutoff man from 50 feet, to me, that's more of a concentration thing, maybe. And there's enough athletic ability there where I think he can improve defensively. I'm with you. I have some concerns. I think my concerns more looking ahead to probably next year, Marty, is just the outfield in general. Lee's going to be out there. He's going to play. That needs to be a step up. He needs to take a step up. And then what are you going to do in right field? They're giving the young man Gilbert a chance now, which I'm fine with. I have no problem with it. We don't know what he's all about. But I think the outfield is an area that needs significant improvement, either production wise from the people that are there or a new addition, looking forward and looking ahead to next year. I know there's some very, very talented outfielders in the minor league system that the Giants really like a lot. They may not be ready yet. The Bo Davidson kid is in Double-A. The kid in San Jose, Jordan, is he looks the part. But these kids are young and they're still way down in the minor leagues. We're talking about next year, Marty, and I think the outfield at this point is a little bit of an issue that needs to be added to. Would you agree with that?
No question. This right field needs Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah.
They need a guy who can hit.
They need a guy
who can hit. They need a guy, with hair on his chest, the guy who can stand up there and get a hit when you need it and hit a home run. That's what they need. Whether it's here, you got a comment from Bake That Dough.
Bake That Dough's our guy. Yeah, they check in. And
I hope this team's shorten up and go the other way. And this G-Man Music mentioned this earlier. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
They have got to be able to control the at-bat and go the other way and not swing from their heels all the time. There's no question in my mind. They've got to. I've watched the Brewers do it. I watched the Blue Jays do it, and teams that can score some runs, the guys can hit the ball all over the park. The Giants need to do that. But let's stay with your question, and that is, what do you do in right field? I don't think the right field is in the organization right now. I just don't think so.
No,
I think they're going to have to make a trade
right now. Yeah,
they're going to have to get a guy to play right field, and that'll take the pressure off that number 3 spot. And then you can move Adames down, you can move Chapman down, do something like that. Because right now you're relying on Adames and Chapman to carry you, and it's not happening. It's not happening with those guys. They're very inconsistent. Devers, over the course of 162, you hope he's going to be the guy to carry, that he hits 320 and hits 35 home runs here. And there's some of that in his future. It could be. We haven't seen it all for him. But next year, you got to find a guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. And Bake the Dough, thank you for your question, your super chat. We appreciate it. And player stubbornness, or are they incapable of doing so? Well, we don't know. But listen.
How about what Tyler Roy says? I like this one. Bailey needs to stop hitting from the right side. That's not crazy.
Yeah.
It's not, the swing is so pathetic from the right side, and he's just not there.
And I think, Marty, as we look ahead, I think that's an area that the Giants need to address, the catcher production offensively. And I hope it's Bailey. I do, because I like the kid and he is a difference maker defensively. But I just, you look at areas, where can they get better offensively, and the catcher spot is one. And I'm not saying get rid of Bailey. That's not my point. My point is he needs to get better, or there needs to be another catcher on the team that is more of an offensive catcher.
Well, you can carry the guy if everyone else is hitting.
Yeah.
But if everyone else isn't hitting, and it comes to him, and it's unfair because he is who he is, and it comes to him, and if he doesn't get the job done, then everyone is all over Bailey. But it shouldn't be Bailey. Yeah. They should be able to take care of business before it gets to him, and that's my feeling with Bailey. Bailey is so good defensively that it's not that he steals strikes, which he steals some, but he makes that borderline strike even better.
Sure, that's right.
Where the umpire doesn't have to hesitate. The umpire says, "Man, that's a good one."
Yeah.
And that's what he does. And he's a good catcher, but they rely on him to get hits, and it's unfair because he's not that kind of hitter.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the catching situation will be an interesting one to watch this offseason.
What about the kid from the Yankees? Why isn't that kid up here? Why is that kid?
Well, from what I understand, he did have a little bit of a injury that was preventing him from catching, but he is okay to DH. But it wasn't anything serious. It wasn't anything like that. So I know initially when Jesus Rodriguez is the guy we're talking about, pretty good right-handed hitter, not a huge power hitter, but and he is a catcher. Also plays some third base. But it sounded to me like he was DHing at the moment.
And he can't catch. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all I heard, that it wasn't some long-term thing, or it was just he just wasn't quite ready to catch it.
All right, let's talk about, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You got to see James Wood, and you've seen him before. You've watched him. He came over from the Padres. You've seen him with the Nationals for a couple
he's pretty good.
Why don't the Giants have Eldridge up here? Isn't he James Wood? Isn't he James Wood? James Wood strikes out like crazy.
Yeah.
But boy, when he puts the bat on the ball, it's 25 and 75 and 240.
It's a tough one. And I wanted to talk to you about that too. It's such a hot topic.
Why not?
The Bryce Eldridge situation.
Why not?
And I go back and forth on it. I do. Just as a fan, you're like, I want to see this guy. Yeah.
What can happen?
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? He stinks, and he strikes out a lot. Okay, you send him back, and he knows that. But if he starts running into him like James Wood runs into him, all of a sudden you got a spark. And who are we saving first base for? Who? Flores?
Well,
Who could be
I'm
on the team next year? Dom Smith?
yeah,
What are we doing?
my thing with, I think Devers is going to be fine at first. I do. And to me, that could quicken Eldridge's path to the major leagues, right? Because if they don't feel he's quite ready defensively, and that is an issue, but he's closer to being ready to hit, well, you don't need him to play first base because Devers is going to play first base. If Devers and Eldridge are your first base DH for the next 5 years or whatever, that would be awesome, right? I mean, and I think that hopefully that's the way it works. I don't, I'm torn on this one, Marty. About should they bring him up? He's played 37 games in AAA. He's hitting 252. He's got 12 homers and 43 RBI. So the production has been terrific. He's got 50 strikeouts and 139 at bats. I mean, listen, okay. That's a lot. That's a lot.
James Wood. He's James Wood.
Well, I mean, Wood strikes out a lot. Yes, I don't think he's quite James Wood yet, but yeah, let's bring him up. Let's bring him up.
Develop him. Why not? What's to lose? Oh my God, Eldridge is here. We've ruined the world. The world will now spin off its axis. Bring him up, and give him a shot. Really, I would do that. I would. I'd give him a chance. Now, the other thing about Devers, I like Devers. I do. I mean, look, he's a legitimate hitter. When he puts the bat on the ball and gets under one and hits it out in right center, left center, wherever it is, it goes. Get the guy off first base. He's so awkward, and he's making all the plays. He's doing the best he can. I'm afraid he's going to get hurt, that something's going to happen to him. Just let the guy hit. Let the guy hit.
You know what? I don't agree with that, Marty. I think
it's all right. Nobody agrees with me. You know that.
That's right. No, I mean, my point with him is, listen, he played third base for 6 years for the Boston Red Sox. He was an adequate third baseman. He was not great. He was not horrible. Red Sox won a World Series with him playing third base. He's 28 years old. He can play first base.
Yeah.
He looks a little uncomfortable at times. Yes, he will get better, and he will be an adequate first baseman. There's no question about it. And I think he would rather play in the field. I do. But that's my point. My point is if he's your first baseman and you get Eldridge up here and Eldridge is your DH, and when Eldridge gets to the point where he's comfortable and big league playable defensively, then you got them both. You play them both. You play one at first, the DH, you flip play, whatever. You could do that for a long time.
Hey, they put McCovey in left field.
Yeah.
They put McCovey in left. He played so deep that he was against the wall. And when Juan Marichal pitched a no-hitter against Houston, he credited McCovey for saving the no-hitter because he was against the wall.
Against the wall, yeah.
When Carl Warwick hit a ball that would have been out, but McCovey was so tall against the wall, he stopped it. Put Eldridge in left field.
No, I don't think so.
If everything,
everything I'm hearing about Eldridge in the outfield, that is not.
All right, so make him a DH. So he's a DH.
Yeah.
All right,
but let him continue. But let him continue to work at first base.
Yeah,
where he becomes playable at first base, and then you got these two guys. You got a proven 3-time All-Star, and you got a young kid who's a power hitter. I mean, what more? That's perfect. To me, that's perfect.
That's right. And he could carry. Those two could be carriers. Yeah. You need carriers. You need guys who can carry the team. So that's what he's in Sacramento. We've seen him. He's hit everywhere he's gone with power.
Yeah.
With power. This team is I think last in the National League in scoring runs. I mean, they're not scoring enough runs. Give the kid a shot. What do we wait? We're saving Dom Smith and Flores? Come on.
Well, I don't disagree with you. It's an intriguing thought. I want to go with you. I want to be all in on you. Something's holding me back. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, he
But
may not be ready.
nobody would be more
ready.
nobody would be more excited, than I would be if they called this kid up, because he is fun to watch. So, anyways, I wanted to go over that a little bit. Some of the guys that are going to be here, basically, and get your thoughts on the Ramos and Chapman. These are the guys. It's the group that's going to be here that you need to add to moving into the future. Anyways, let's get to this Giants Padres series.
Okay.
San Diego's hot, Marty. They won 11 out of 14. Giants are going to see them 7 times in the next 11 days, so they'll be sick of the Padres. What's going to happen? Who knows? But what is going to be interesting, Marty, is the Padres and their schedule, because they go Giants, Dodgers in the next 2 weeks. And it'll be interesting to see where the Padres are at the end of this 2-week stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. Starting pitching, especially. I mean, the bullpen is deep.
Yeah.
And they're in the bullpen a lot. And I know they're worried about, the long-term effect. But Darvish, Cortez, Robbie Ray, Logan Webb, you think the Giants should be able to handle that. You'd think so.
Yeah. Padres are good, though. It's a good team. I mean, they got
Pavetta on Wednesday, but we don't know for the Giants. He said tonight it's not a lefty-oriented team, so you don't really want to start with Gage.
Yeah.
Maybe Tang just starts the game on Wednesday. But for the Giants, the big question of the pitching. Roop is back. He's going to need a couple more rehabs. He had one. See how he feels. He'll be coming back. He's not going to be counted on for a lot of innings, but he will come back.
And maybe that's a good thing for the future, too, with Roop. Just be careful with him the final 2 months here. Yeah,
they can, they may be able to do some hitting against Darvish. Everybody else does. Yeah. So maybe they can do something against him. And Cortez is, a table setter. He just hangs around and guys get on base and maybe we'll get out of it. But we'll see a lot of the Padre bullpen. That's what I think.
Yeah. So, and listen, it's going to be a good series. There's something I wanted to run by you, and it has to do with the Padres. And it has to do with AJ Preller, who's their GM. Now they're in charge of the whole baseball side. And he's been there since 2015, Marty. And I don't know AJ Preller. I have no idea. But he's the guy that always wins the offseason. He's the guy that always wins the trade deadline. Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Everybody raves about he makes these deals, and he does. And I give him credit for taking the home run swing every year, seems like. And it's great. It's great for baseball. And what it's done in San Diego is it's turned, and I'm not saying just this, but I think the new ballpark has had a lot to do with it down there, but it's really turned San Diego into a terrific baseball town. But again, I think the ballpark has a lot to do with that. But I want to get back to Preller. He's a wheeler dealer, pulls off these big deals. But what is it? What is the deciding factor, Marty, on if all this wheeling dealing is successful? Okay. So Preller's been in charge of baseball for the Padres for 10 years. Okay. They've made 3 postseason appearances in those 10 years. They have not won a World Series in those 10 years. They haven't even made a World Series appearance in those 10 years. So my question is has he been successful in San Diego? Because everybody talks about him. Everybody says he's this great wheeler dealer, and he is. We want to give him credit to be able to pull off these trades. But in the end, has he been successful with no World Series titles, no trips to the World Series, and 3 trips to the postseason in 10 years? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. The guy is highly successful. He's taken that franchise that was struggling with attendance and just fan interest and back and forth, and they were miserable. and he's turned it into one of the premier franchises in the National League. And so they're like the Giants were in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. They're selling out every game.
No, but there's the difference. The Giants won 3 World Championships.
Well, but he's doing
haven't
it.
even been to the World Series.
Yeah, but you're in business to make money. This is the baseball business. He's making money, like the Godfather said. He's making money for his partners. He's making money.
So you think that's what he's thinking, though? You think he's thinking that it's trade deadline? He's thinking, you know what? I don't care if we make it to the World Series because I'm making money for my organization.
No. And when you judge him, of course, not getting to the World Series is something a negative on his side. But the way he's run his organization and made everything interesting and gotten good players and selling out and making it really like you say, the ballpark, it's a destination place. He's been very successful. And I think he's been fine. I can't wait to see what he's going to do next, to tell you the truth. Well, I think he's very good for baseball.
Yeah, and he is good for baseball. But my point is what are you basing success on? Isn't it about winning?
Hey, it's not like he doesn't win. I mean, they do win some, but they haven't won the World Series. But if I have a chance to watch a Padre game or a Diamondback on TV, I'm going to watch a Padre game. If I have a chance to watch a Padre game or a Phillies game, I'm watching a Padres game. Now, maybe because I'm on the West Coast, it has more interest. But he creates interest the way he runs it. And he does not say, oh, my God, we're not doing well. I'm stuck with these players. If he doesn't like it, he gets rid of them. And you know what he does? He trades minor leaguers. And I've been on Posey like crazy for this.
Well,
trade minor leaguers and get major leaguers back. That was brought up in the questioning with Melvin tonight.
Yeah. In fairness, Marty, I mean, Buster's been doing this for 6 months. Preller's been doing it for 11 years.
All right. Well, my point is, Preller obviously has more chance to do it. But I like the fact
Buster just traded 3 minor league players for Devers. That's a pretty big trade.
3 major league players.
Well, Harrison's in the minor leagues. Tibbs is in the minor leagues. The other kid was a lower level, and Hicks was about as expendable as you can get.
Yeah, but I looked at Hicks and Harrison as major leaguers, basically going, which eventually it did cause them a little bit of lightness in the pitching staff. But my point is, Preller traded Wood, Abrams. He traded Mackenzie Gore to get Soto. Then he traded Soto to get Michael King back and the catcher back. The guy's not afraid to make trades and shake it up. Fans like that. And he's not a bad judge of talent. But I
didn't say
like
that.
What he does.
My point is 3 postseason appearances in 10 years is not that great.
That's correct. You can't argue with that.
It's not that great.
No, it's not.
And to me, that's I don't know. I mean, what are we basing this on? I guess is my point.
Interest, entertainment. He makes a good team. Look, you don't think I'm looking at this lineup tonight? And here's AJ. Here's their lineup. Tatis, $330 million. Arise, tremendous trade, bringing him in. I love Arise. If the Giants had 8 Arises, things would be a lot better. Machado brought him in. O'Hearn traded for O'Hearn. Jackson Merrill, minor leaguer. Bogarts signed him. Sheets signed him from the White Sox. Cronenworth developed. Freddie Fermin, Kansas City, traded 2 of his pitchers. He traded Kolick and Herger, 2 guys he was using, for Freddie Fermin. Come on. Look at that lineup. It's fun.
I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm saying all the stuff that he has done, it hasn't really, I mean.
No, and he hasn't made a dynasty.
That's the reality. I mean, that's just looking at the standings, or that's just looking at.
Would you rather have the Padre lineup or the Giants lineup?
Well, you know what I'd rather have, Marty, is I'd rather have 3 world championships.
Okay, that's right. I can't argue with
And
that.
the Padres have 0.
Zero. That's right.
Right? I mean, that's the reality. I mean, and I know they're trying. They try like heck. But I'm just saying, I think he's great for baseball. But there's more. Isn't it really about let's get to the postseason and let's win?
Well, someone commented here, instant one. Padres are 1 win away from eliminating the Dodgers last season.
Well, that's great. But 1 win away, that's great.
And the year before that, they gave the Bryce Harper home run, knocked him out, which, when Bob Melvin was managing. So, it's not like, he's putting out a team that's, 77 and 85 either.
No, absolutely not.
Putting out a team that's pretty darn good.
3 times in 10 years, he's made the postseason. That's not an opinion. That's
why we have comments. That's why people can comment on this.
Okay, instances by extension. What have the Giants done in the last 10 years? Crazy how Glenn is saying the Padres haven't been successful. I'm not saying they haven't been successful. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he gets a lot of credit and he makes a lot of deals, and I think that's great. But they've been to the postseason 3 times in 10 years since he took over.
All right.
If you wanted to do, so since 2015 when he took over, the Giants have been to the postseason twice.
Okay. All right. I like Preller better than Farhan.
Hey, I got a great question for you. You're a New York guy.
Yes.
You grew up there. What is going on with the Mets and the Yankees? It's really hard to figure out. And again, if the season ended right now, Marty, they'd still both make the postseason. Okay, so it's not the end of the world here, but to see these 2 teams struggle, it's really hard. Like the Mets, Marty, they've lost 7 in a row. They've lost 10 out of 11. And this is the one that got me. And I mentioned this before. Marty, since May 1st, that's 3.5 months ago, the Mets are 42 and 45. How do you figure that?
Pitching. Their starting pitching has been awful. Their bullpen has been okay, but they're in that bullpen all the time. And as crazy as baseball is, Lindor, Alonso, Soto, Nimmo, they all went cold at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're all cold. They can't get anything done offensively.
It's just amazing to me.
Bullpen is leaking a little bit too, but the starting pitching for them has really been a problem. They don't have a stopper. They don't have a guy who can go out and be the stopper. The Yankees have not played well defensively. Judge has been out. The bullpen, they tried to redo the bullpen with our buddy Camilo and Delvin Williams, and that hasn't worked out for them. And Jake Bird is already in the minor leagues. They haven't hit a lot either. And Yankees, at least starting pitching-wise, you think with Fried and Rodon and Heel is back, that, they could pull it together. It's interesting when both New York teams are bad, and the back page is always the best. One said, "Hold my beer." One game was worse than the next game. And, there's reasons why.
Yeah. But, it's just, you see them from distance. There's a lot of talent, but even the Yankees, and you go back, Marty, and the last 2.5 months, they're well under 500. And that's a long time. That's, 2.5 months.
Yeah.
It's just hard to, there's a lot of talent on both those teams. And they could very easily both make the postseason. There's still, a lot of ball games to be played, but it is an interesting kind of concept when you watch these teams, the Mets and the Yankees, and you're really surprised that they struggle. Not every team struggles, Marty, but to be struggling for that length of time, you're talking, like I said, for the Mets, 3.5 months. That's a lot.
Yeah,
and it catches you off guard a little bit.
I say in September, the pros take over. So for the Mets, let's see if the pros take over.
And they very well may. I mean, Soto may go off. I mean, they have so many good hitters, and the Yankees
got
the
all
same.
these solo home runs. He's hit like 28 home runs and like 22. Nobody's on base.
Yeah. Huh. Crazy, but fun. Yeah. And the Brewers are a good story. What do you think about the Brew Crew?
Well, the Brewers are, you talk about the 2021 Giants. Yeah. Everything went right. Yeah. Everything is going right for the Brewers. If they hit a ball, it just eludes a fielder. But they are not a strikeout crazy team. They can control the at bat. They got these people, we don't know who they are. Durbin, Collins. Said this a couple of weeks ago. I couldn't even name Terang. If they walked in the room, I couldn't tell you who they are. They got a darn good bullpen. They got a real closer. And Woodruff has looked terrific. The kid is hurt, Mizorowski, and he was doing really well. Peralta tied Cal Eldred's record for, 10 straight wins. He did that. Brewers have pitching, and they hit. And I like the manager.
Yeah. And you know what? And you're right. They don't strike out. They put the ball in play. They steal bases. They sort of play a kind of an entertaining type of baseball. And I think the people in Milwaukee, they love that.
They're selling out. They're selling, they're selling out.
Yeah.
How about that?
They're into it. But
the Giants there.
73 and 44 they are, Marty. 73 and 44.
This road trip for the Giants, for me, is the Waterloo. 4 in San Diego and 3 in Milwaukee. And, now there's no excuses. I mean, you better play well. September is an easier month. I've said this before. It's all Cardinals. It's all Colorado. It's Arizona and the Dodgers. That's it.
Yeah.
So if you can somehow get through August, but this road trip, this is the Waterloo for me.
Yeah, they need to get through tonight. How about that?
Well, that's another problem.
All right, Marty, I want to finish on a high note with you because, again, you are one of my favorite people. You've been in my corner from day one, and I love you for that. But I want to talk about the movie because you are indeed going to Hollywood. It's called A Baseball Mensch, the Marty Lurie story. It's directed by Randy Field, and a world premiere is coming up on Monday, August 25th. At the Vogue Theater in San Francisco. I know Randy and his gang have been working on this for a long time. I know you're excited about it, and you should be proud of it. And tell us what you can about it because I can't wait to see it. It's called A Baseball Mensch, the Marty Lurie story.
Well, the question is, what is a mensch? A mensch is someone who tries to do things that's right. Or as Dwayne says, a pain in the ass. As Dwayne said. But
that's the Dutch. But
it's my life story of growing up in Brooklyn and getting involved with baseball and my early years and what happened to me in my life and becoming a criminal lawyer for 25 years and doing that and then transitioning into baseball and affecting a lot of other people's careers and things like that. So it's a good story. And it's a lot of people that and everyone will be familiar with are in the show and they're interviewed. There's a major person who's going to be the narrator who they haven't sent out that press release yet. But when you hear who the narrator is, you're going to go, wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty cool.
That's great.
So it's at the Vogue Theater. It's the first screening on the 25th of August at 7:30. And tickets are limited. It's all free. And you'd have to get a link to the tickets.
Okay.
But if you want to go and you're listening to this, just email me, martylurie@yahoo.com, and then I'll send you the link. And if you do it early enough, you'll be able to get in because this theater only holds about 250 people. So martylurie@yahoo.com. But
can you get me in, Marty?
No, you're in. You and Amanda, front row, man.
Well, I'm excited. I'm you deserve it. I'm proud of that. That they're making a movie for you, and you deserve it. So
Randy,
I'm excited.
Send me if you want to go. I'll send you the link, and then Wednesday, 10 a.m. These are like Madonna tickets, or Taylor Swift at 10 a.m. Wednesday. You better click on. if you
I
want to
love
go.
I
So,
love it.
but something I wanted to mention tonight, Maria, who is our media
Yes,
director here,
she's
they
awesome.
have a food tasting tonight, and it's terrific. I can't wait. As soon as we're done, I'm going to try it. It's at 9 Julio
Okay,
Empanada Kitchen. It's
nice.
at 5239 Claremont Avenue. Listen to this. You'll make you hungry. We serve Latin American comfort foods like empanadas, Peruvian chicken, that's for me, and chimichurri steak, not for me. From dine-in to takeout and catering, our food travels wherever you do. Visit our new brick and mortar restaurant or order online and let us be your passport to flavor. Erica Sanders is the one. Her number is 612-747-6058. But they're at 5239 Claremont Avenue, Suite A in Oakland. And
Okay,
Claremont is, sort of the Temescal, Montclair
yeah.
area. I used to live down there on Lawton. So that's what's going on at the ballpark tonight. So as soon as we're done and Ryan says we've talked enough, I'm going to have the Peruvian chicken tonight.
Well, you know what? Glenn is saying we've talked enough, Marty. So I'm going to let you go eat and have fun at the ballpark. Try to get a W tonight. All right.
Yeah, and I want to commend the chat. I like the chat. The chat was good tonight. And G-Man Music, you're right. It's orgasmic. And that's what I said in 2010. I love it. Very good, G-Man. Nice stuff.
All right. Marty,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Anytime.
You know what? And we'll see you on Friday night at the Gotham Club for Friday Night Types. You're going to be our guest, and we're excited about that.
Love it. Then Sunday we'll do the post game after the Rays game, 4:15 on YouTube. So good week.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
Have a
I'll
good
see
night.
you again. All right. All right. That's Marty Lurie, our guest. He's terrific. One of baseball's good guys. So I love talking baseball with Marty. So tonight's show has been brought to you by the Carrig Real Estate Team. They've been helping families buy and sell homes across the Bay Area with a legacy of client-first service since 1978. Contact Mike Carrig today for a free home sale or purchase consultation. Call Mike at 925-548-4132 or check out their website, thecarrigteam.com. And we've also brought to you by Tilden Properties. As an investor, one of the best places to put your money is California's multi-family real estate. By investing with Tilden Properties, you'll see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market. It's Tilden Properties. Call them at 925-209-8558 or go to tildenproperties.com. And as always, I thank my sponsors very much as they are part of the show. Just like you folks are. Thanks for all your comments. I hope you enjoyed Marty and I tonight. We love talking baseball in general, especially Giants baseball. But that's going to do it for this edition of the Glen Kuiper Show. All Giants, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you check out all the videos on my YouTube channel. There's some really good stuff out there. Until we meet again for another live show, thanks for joining us, everybody. Enjoy tonight's Giants-Padres game. We'll talk to you later.